so we're going to do some slow songs and a couple of licks you can use, but also kind of talking about what your role might be playing the banjo on slow songs. A lot of people are scared of them for a number of reasons. One reason is you're not rolling the whole time necessarily. So you're kind of breaking away from your string of eighth notes that you're used to doing. That means you're doing other things like some of this tremolo, okay, which you hear a mandolin do a lot, but you're trying to figure out how to do it on the banjo. And since it's slow, what you're doing is if you're hanging out in G a long time, what do? Well, you can't just vamp. It's not enough. It's not filling up the space quite enough. So you can kind of do the rocking back and forth thing, or you're actually kind of doing the tremolo, mimicking what the mandolin does with a flat pick. But well, you can do that for a while. Well, that's still kind of boring. So what can you do to piece things together? And that's where you really have to know the fretboard and how to connect the chords. You need to know where all your G's are at, where all your C's are at, and how to connect the F position, the bar position, the D position, how to get in between those. Another thing that throws people off is a lot of slow songs aren't in traditional bluegrass keys a lot of times. Instead of playing anything from G through B, you might be playing an E and F and some other things, or you can use your capo some, but you're playing down here, the capo is not going to help you a whole lot on what you need to be able to do. The other thing is some of the slow songs are in 4/4, but some are in waltz time, they're 3/4. And to be honest with you, you kind of just get used to playing slower songs, and you kind of adapt the same idea without thinking, is this in 4/4 or is this in 3/4? You just kind of feel it and kind of go with it. One thing that could help you, what I'm going to piece together here, is a little series I did a few months ago on, I called it passing chords, or if you want to connect, how to start connecting these ideas. I kind of did it in terms of faster songs. Okay, some of those ideas, you're actually using what you need on slow songs to connect some of the pieces together. All right, so let me just kind of show you a few ideas which will, basically I'm just kind of talking about backups. You can use some of these licks as fill-in licks, and you use the same ideas if you need to take a break. But before you're ready, and I don't take a whole lot of breaks on slow songs anyway, the banjo just doesn't always do that. It kind of depends on who you're playing with and what song and what you guys are used to doing. All right, so let me kind of go through a few things. When you start doing the tremolo kind of thing and piecing together chords, you need to be able to go up and you need to go back down. Okay, so if you're at the F position, okay, and we're really just focusing on the first, second, and third string, okay, at the F position, and then in your head, you start thinking about switching to the D position. So you go ahead and switch your fingers, okay, and move up one fret. Switch your first and second string there, your index and your middle finger. You switch those, but as you're doing the pieces of the chords, as you're sliding up, you're actually only playing the first and third string. So it kind of fills up the space, but you're not really doing things that are that difficult once you get used to it. So try that again. And I was wrong, you actually go up 2 frets, so. And you go up 1 fret at a time until you get there, okay? So if you think about it, in between the D and the F shapes, there are, at least where your pinky goes and your ring finger. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you're going to position, you skip 2 frets. And you go 1 fret at a time. Okay, a lot of times you slide into it to be a little more, give a little more emphasis to it. Okay, the other thing you need to be able to work in is, your seventh shapes and sometimes your minor shapes and how to work those in. Okay, so if you're at the D position, where's the seventh of that? Well, you've got to take your second string and walk down 2 notes. And then that gets you ready to slide into the C, okay, which is the F. It's getting confusing, isn't it? The F shape there at the next position. And then you can go to that 7th sometimes, or you can do the same progression you just did before. Let me show you. Okay, so that's kind of going up the scale from the F to the D position. Well, you can also go back down. If you're hanging out and you're up here, you're in the G, you know, this position. You can walk it back down the same way, and that can be individual kind of pinches, or you can kind of rock back and forth. Okay, so that's connecting the F and the D position. Okay, also always think about where your C's at. Okay, excuse me, your 7th chord, wherever your 7th is. Okay, if you're at the F position, where's your 7th? That's just removing your pinky and kind of barring the 1st and 2nd fret. You don't have to go every fret as you go up. You can go 2 and then 2 more. A lot of times that'll sound better. Okay, so that's kind of putting together some ideas. Another thing you can do is connect the D position and the bar position. So you kind of do that if you're playing in the key of C, you know, on the key kickoffs is. Okay. You're doing the same thing up the neck, so we're going to still be in the key of G. I'm going to try to keep everything in the key of G here, although it'll go to any key. And you want to go from this position to the bar position. You really only need to worry about your first 2 strings. And then if you want to do the 2-finger backup, teardrop. I'm not going to go through exactly what I'm playing on the teardrop 2-finger backup. There's some other resources you can look at for that. But how to get into that position is go from the D position here. Okay. It also works really well going backwards. So far we're going up and back. We can see how we're connecting these chord shapes, and we really need to know the neck and how all that stuff works. Okay. So let's see what we've done. We've done from F to the D position, D to the F. We've done from the D to the bar, bar to the D. Okay. Seems like we're missing the bar to the F, and I don't know if I really play a whole lot of connecting the bar to the F. I don't know if I do that. So if you do that, you know, please reply, and maybe we can figure out how to connect that using some slow ideas. Okay. A couple other things to mention. A couple little backup kind of fill-in licks, if you will, that I like. And one of them is if you're at the F position, is hammering on the 2nd string to the minor position, if you will. Okay, it's a good little fill in on whatever the vocal is. Okay, a few other things that you have already do that will work pretty well in slow songs is the 6 White Horses lick. Sounds good in a slow song. Okay, also the D position, excuse me, the D. That lick will sound pretty good, and this kind of goes along with the backup idea, same positions you're already used to using. Another little fill is okay, so okay, same progression I was just showing you before, but kind of using it as a little bit more of a fill-in note. Okay, same thing will work on going from the G, the bar position, down to the F position. Okay, so a few ideas there. The main thing is knowing where the chords are at, knowing the chord progression, and then start playing around with the tremolo and then the connecting part. And that's where some of the stuff you already know, you're actually doing it, but you don't realize you're doing it sometimes. You don't realize what to do. So go back and take a look at the passing chords series that I did. I did 3 videos on that. Kind of shows you a little more detail how to connect some of these shapes. Start just messing around. You're not driving the song, so you're more of adding a little spice here and there. And if you've got a really good fiddle player that's comes in with those nice slow drones, you don't have to do as much. You can kind of in the background, and then mandolin comes in with the tremolo, and they're doing an active backup kind of pattern. But if there's some holes there, be ready to fill it in and kind of do your own thing. All right, so hopefully that'll help a little bit. I may try to figure out if I can play along with a slow song here just to kind of give you some ideas. All right, take care. All right, I went back and listened to some of what I do on some songs, and just a couple more things to add to it. One thing is you don't have to stay up the neck all the time. Let's say you're in the key of G. Don't forget these positions down here, and you can use something as simple as just a strum, okay, to kind of make emphasis, especially if one maybe walks down to the E minor. So you can do just a strum if you want. Also, you can just, you can do some rolling. Okay. One more thing that I forgot to mention is, depending on the type of song, you can do a little bit more of the F shape, the bluesy bends. Okay, it's a little bit faster. You can, it depends on the feel of it. Okay, so there are a few ideas. Play around with some of that and see what you can do. So we've got the moving positions, the tremolo, the rolling, you kind of do it as pinches, 2-finger backup. What else do we have? The 6 white horses, D position, just basic rolling. If you're down the neck, a nice little strum. We need to have a couple fill-in licks. Okay. And then, okay, and one more thing, I did it at the very beginning of the video, is you start doing those pedal steel type of bends. Okay, you can check out Jim Mills when he plays How Great Thou Art. Okay, beautiful song. He does a great job on it. You wouldn't think it's a nice banjo song, but it turns out really nice, all the bends he does on that. Okay, so both from a D position, there's a bend, and from an F position, there's a bend. So if you can check that out. Basically on the F position bend, you take the 3rd string, and from your normal F position, you go down 2 frets. And you're really just doing the first, you can do first 3 strings there. Okay, so you kind of change the position of your hand, but then you just have to slide or bend that 3rd string way up. And you kind of see if it sounds right. You bend it till it sounds right. Okay, but that's pretty cool. And that's pretty hard to get those bends exactly right. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Give you something to work on.